So when I was looking back at all the stuff that he has, I mean, my little work area is full of his work. It started back in right around the end of September '06, right around in that range. And I was talking to Dr. Schnurr, and she said, I'd really like to know a little bit about how all that happened. And I've had that question quite a bit. So I'll give you the summed up version here, because I know we have a few minutes. I know that Artist knows my family can talk for a long time if we want to. But what happened is he started, he said, I had a vision. And he said, I need to do something to leave the world in a little bit better of a place after we're gone, because, we're at war and it's been 6 years and people are going to come home and they're going to need our help. And there's people who need our help here now. We're not prepared for it. So he worked hard. He started out here just a few blocks away. We came down one afternoon for lunch, and he went out and he had a sign that said, stop here to sign my veterans petition. And basically what he did was he stood out in the street on lunch break and he talked to people he didn't even know about people he didn't even know. I mean, that's powerful, and I got to see that firsthand. It's pretty cool to be on the sidelines. And he worked pretty hard and he made some progress, but he had some setbacks during the way, and one of those setbacks was on September the 8th, in 2009. He suffered a little heart attack. And he had to go in, and he actually had to have a triple bypass done, and they also discovered that they had to do a heart valve replacement on him. And that morning we were all going to go down to meet him at the hospital, and our plan was to be there in the morning. And they said, I got down there, and he said, those people tried to take me down and go operate on me before my family got here. He said, I told them they're going to have to wait. It's just how he was. He was strong-minded like that. And well, I'm glad he did, because what a lot of people don't know, that after our family said goodbye with him and after his close friend Tom Gillespie prayed over him, my father passed away as they rolled him down the halls of that hospital. And a lot of people didn't know that. And that day, they didn't give up hope on him. And they worked on him and they brought him back to life. And the crazy part is when they finished his triple bypass surgery and heart valve replacement, he was in the recovery room and they couldn't figure out why he couldn't recover. So he wasn't retaining blood. Blood was leaving his body. So they figured out that this little man had to go through a second heart surgery on the same day. I mean, it's hard enough to go through that one time, much less twice. And we went, before they had told us that they were going to operate on him again a second time, we were gathered around him in the recovery room, and I remember it vividly. We were there, and the doctors were briefing us on what was going on, and they went back in and they healed him, and they got him feeling good. And after Dad woke up a few days later, he said, when you guys were in that room and y'all were all around me, he said, I knew everything was going to be all right. The man was unconscious. He said, the Lord came to me and he told me that day everything was going to be okay. And he said, I took it as a sign to continue my work. And that's what that man did. He nurtured himself back from a heart problem and continued his work that he told himself he was going to do. I mean, that's amazing. This is what souls are made of. I mean, I can't say and see it. It doesn't even stop there. It's the craziest part about this is my mother had developed Alzheimer's while he was nursing himself back. She had had it for years, but it started getting worse as he was getting better because her routine had changed. That's the key when you have Alzheimer's. We found that his routine is going to help you. But he went on and he kept working. And then my mother passed away, and I remember she had a bad morning, and we had to go take her. He said, you need to come take your mom to the shoots. They took her to the hospital. You need to get down there. And I went down there, and I found out that it wasn't going to be a very good day in the Denny family again. And I had to reach down, and I had to tell my father that we had to tell my mother goodbye. And just the heartbreak over his face when he saw that. And, she was his support system during all this. She didn't understand it, but she knew the man was passionate about what he wanted to do. Well, anyway, she passed away, and we mourned her, and he took it as a sign to continue on, and he did. And that was when we met Kobe, and this was right around June 6th, his birthday, his 83rd birthday. We got to do something great because of Congressman Pittenger and all the folks. There's been so many great people who we've met along the ways that has kind of helped us along here. And man, I'm telling you, I'm thankful for all of you, because look at what we're fixing to do for people that we don't even know. Dad's seed, that seed that he planted, I mean, it's growing right now, and there's not any stopping it, because a little bit of love from each one of us to another person, I can't wait to see what this is going to do. I honestly can't. There was never a day in his life where he knew that he didn't think this would happen. He just couldn't tell you what day it was going to happen. He knew it would. So on October 13th, Dad passed away. And I was left wondering what was going to happen. You know, and he had worked so hard for so long, and I saw how he decided to spend the last years of his life. Our family decided that we were going to finish honoring him, and we did this together. You know, I mean, I'm just a spokesperson for our family. I'm not the person who led this. People believe that. But there's many people here today who played a part in this. And you know what? I thank you for my father. Because without you, we wouldn't be right here. And so that's how he got done. You know, I mean, when he passed away, I wrote the Postmaster General a letter, and I said, hey, look, you know, this is what's going on. And I told the story. And I talked too much anyway, but that's okay, because they knew exactly what happened from A to Z. But I was ecstatic when I got a letter in the mail that said, hey, look, the post office had decided to change some of their rules and regulations. And I know that we're not the only ones that write the Postal Service. I mean, it's not really fair to say that our family was the deciding factor of this being done. What's fair to say is we played a major part in it. You know, I mean, but this is everyone's stamp. And I hope that everybody will own it from here like we have tried to do. Because it's really up to us today. You know, you out there watching wherever you are, and the folks here today, our country is literally waiting on something to get behind. And now we have an opportunity to get behind this, because here it is. I mean, it was a 10-year period to get to this point, but I'm in no means the finish line. I'm at the beginning point. You know, and I mean, you guys are all here with me, and I'm going to need you, and he needs you. And it's a great story to tell. But there's a couple of ways. People always ask me, they say, you know, what about your dad? You know, do you admire the most about him? And I think that probably, if I sat back and had to describe him to you, he was shorter than me. As I got older, he got a little shorter. He probably didn't weigh 110 pounds soaking wet. But I know one thing he was able to do. You know, even on the worst days that he had, and fighting for his family and fighting for his veterans, he figured out on his weakest days how to influence the future. And you know, we all have the ability to do that. It's just, do we have the drive in us to make that happen like GArland did? My gut tells me I believe that we do as Americans. There's fine people that serve in the military. You know, I'm in awe of you, how you hold your heads high in our community. You know, more of our elected officials should take some notes from you, in my personal opinion, but that's all I'm going to say about that. And, you know, the couple of ways that we can go through and honor GArland and honor all of our veterans is a little bit later on this afternoon. I'm about to finish up. But at UNCC, we're having a PTSD forum, and it's going to give the public an opportunity to come out and learn a little bit about post-traumatic stress, some of the signs, some of the symptoms. They're going to tell you about places that you can go and get help. You know, we have to educate ourselves to get ahead of the learning curve here. Doesn't mean that we're going to be able to eradicate it. We hope that we can one day, but we need to learn to start to deal with it. We have to find a place to put our foot on the ground and step forward like GArland did. You know, that man, some days he never knew what he was going to do, but just doing something, it got him to here. And that's what we all have to take from that. And so, right here before I close, what I would like to do is I would like to, whoever's listening to me today, I want to issue you a unity challenge. If you're one of the people who think that the people in our country need to spend a little more time together with their fellow man, no matter who they are, I don't want to say it from me. I want to use GArland's words today. You know, and this was in 2009. He went and he recorded. He had a little handheld recorder. And he would carry it around, and he would talk into it. That way he wouldn't forget. He'd say, I don't want to forget that. I don't know how he listened to all that stuff over and over again, but these are the words that he wanted to say. Now, that isn't telling the future. I don't know what isn't. Thank you so much for coming out today and supporting this stamp. Let's make this stamp the best stamp that they have ever had to raise funds. The breast cancer stamp has raised over $90 million for breast cancer research and treatment. We have the ability, right in our hands together, to put over $150 million towards helping post-traumatic stress. It's just going to take our efforts to do it. Thank you so much for coming out.